So we started with 12 teams that could potentially be my first Dynasty rebuild in college football 25, and now we are down to a final 8 teams in the Dynasty Decider Playoff after 1 week. And 11 years ago tomorrow, to the exact day, NCAA Football 14 was released on PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 on July 15th of this year. For the first time since then, I and many others will get to choose our first Dynasty team on a new college football game for the first time in 11 years, and as an ode to NCAA Football 14, I have been letting that game decide my first Dynasty team in the new game, College Football 25. Here's a look at the bracket after 1 week of games. We saw 4 games on 2 separate streams, and safe to say the results were much closer on day 1 of streaming than day 2. However, now things start to heat up this week for sure. Starting tonight, July 8th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, I'm going to start streaming 6 games in 5 days, 3 separate streams, 2 quarterfinals tonight. The other 2 quarterfinals are going to be Wednesday at 5, and then the 2 semifinal matchups are going to be played Friday at 1. But before we get ready for a packed week 2 of the playoff, let's see how North Texas, San Jose State, Old Dominion, and Louisiana Tech all advanced past round 1 last week. First, the North Texas Mean Green, who faced off against Tulsa in the first game of the playoff, and it was an exciting first game. Back and forth we went, starting off with North Texas going through Oscar Attaway, who was definitely player of the game, player of the stream, starting off with a 25-yard rush, adding in a big reception to get North Texas down in field goal range, and they would end up settling for 3 points. Tulsa came back though, throwing the ball down the field, moving it down the field, and then eventually capping it off with a touchdown run on the option play, and then to be answered by North Texas. Like I said, back and forth we went. Oscar Attaway ran all over Tulsa in this one. Big plays from Oscar Attaway all the way down the field, and then eventually it was North Texas through Austin on, getting the touchdown on the option play. Back-to-back option touchdowns in this game. Both teams ran the ball very well. Tulsa coming back at it with a big play, only leading to a field goal though just before halftime, 10-10 going into the half. North Texas came out firing though in the third quarter. Nice, long, methodical drive, getting it over the middle, down inside field goal range, but no need for a field goal here when you have Oscar Attaway. 8-yard touchdown run, and the Mean Green took a lead into the fourth and seemed like they were going to win it here easily, icing it up by 7, getting the ball back with 3 minutes to play, but a fumble! Tulsa forcing a huge fumble in this game, huge turning point. They ran the ball in the ensuing play and took it all the way down inside the 30, inside the 40, just rumbling and bumbling, and eventually leading to a Deneric Prince touchdown to tie this game up with just over 2 minutes to play. North Texas got it back though, and Austin on, right down the field, running it for a first down, and then this strike down inside the 10 and giving them the lead on a 40-yard touchdown pass to Jair Short with just over a minute to play. Tulsa got it back with a minute to play, and a big pass here, chance taken on 2nd and 7, and the Mean Green came up with a big turnover under a minute to play, and that sealed the deal for North Texas, who move on to face Western Kentucky in the next round. Next game was San Jose State and Wyoming. Winner faces Hawaii. So we played at a terrible field where you could barely see anything going on, and the game really wasn't all that impressive. A lot of field goals. Deep one early on by San Jose State, and then Wyoming trying to answer, throwing the interception, giving the ball back to San Jose State. A 4th down for the Spartans. Tried to run the ball and they couldn't convert. It was just an ugly game. Wyoming did get it into field goal range, couldn't convert the 3rd down, so tied the game up at 3. That was the first half, all right there. Really, not much happening in this game. San Jose State started off the 3rd quarter well though, moving the ball down the field methodically, running it, throwing it. They actually started to seem like they were going to put A lot of points on the board, but just 3 again for the Spartans. No touchdowns in this football game, but how about Andrew Peasley getting rocked over the middle, putting his body on the line, trying to get Wyoming back in this. Back-to-back third down plays. Picks them both up, but again, it just leads to 3 points for the Cowboys. San Jose State can't do anything with their drive, under 2 minutes to go, and Wyoming gets it back. Andrew Peasley with a chance to lead the Cowboys down the field, and another fumble in a crucial spot leads San Jose State back on offense. They work it methodically, run the clock down, and kick the game-winning field goal. 9-6. The Spartans survive a field goal battle. No touchdowns needed. They move on to face Hawaii. And then day 2 of streaming. Next up on our state, to face the Yukon Huskies, it's Kent State and Old Dominion. I put Old Dominion in the Powder Blues, and they ran the ball. They defended well. They dominated this game. Kent State were no match for the Monarchs, running it with Blake Watson early and doing it well, and then giving it to him on the outside. Great play, touchdown early. Old Dominion was looking great. Kent State did answer, though, running it all the way down the field, but not quite getting the first down inside the 10, having to kick a field goal. And those were the only 3 points the Golden Flashes put on the board today. Blake Watson running over Golden Flashes, coming right back at Kent State. And then Hayden Wolf, the player of the game for Old Dominion, taking it to the outside, and for a quarterback, he was elusive and threatening Kent State all game. 10-3 lead into the half, but a methodical, great drive from Old Dominion to start the second half in the third quarter, and Hayden Wolf caps it off with a 4-yard touchdown run. 14-point lead. Kent State really needed to do something late in the third, and he throws it into triple coverage. Picked off by the Monarchs, who take the ball back, and Hayden Wolf did what he did all game, and that is just dunk on Kent State. 22-yard touchdown run to seal the deal at the end of the third quarter. They ran the ball out in the fourth. Kent State couldn't do anything. 24-3 in East Rutherford. The Monarchs advance to face UConn. And then in our final game, bit of an odd game, Louisiana Tech and Kennesaw State, represented by Army because the Owls are not in this mod. And this was all Louisiana Tech. Nothing happened through the first quarter, all the way into the second, and then scrambling and Smoke Harris on fourth down, big play, finding his man, getting the field goal, and then a freeze-off happened. The game crashed. We had to reload it. You see it there. We got back into the game, and I said we're going to replay the game since we got basically to halftime and just play 2 halves of football, knowing that Louisiana Tech was up 3-0, and they dominated. Absolutely. Came out in that technically second game, just an advancement of the first game, 7-0 early. Kennesaw State/Army needed to answer, and they just couldn't throw the ball. It was kind of the style of play that Army has had in the past. Not a lot of throwing, run the option, and Louisiana Tech just stopped them on defense, ran the ball down their throat. 14-0 at halftime, so I simmed to the end. 17-0 technically was your final score through 4 quarters, even with the crash at the end of the first half of the first game. Louisiana Tech advances to face Louisiana, the Ragin' Cajuns, in the next round. So as a reminder, this is what the bracket looks like now in full, and make sure you follow me on X for many updates on this playoff and everything I'm doing college football 25 related. Get excited, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a big week of content ahead. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, and like the video if you're excited for everything to come in the next week. I'll do a week 2 recap of this next week and a preview of the final game in a video that I'll release next week after this is all said and done. But until then, I will see you on stream. This has been Therios. You'll never walk alone.